Third phase of moon.
Third phase of moon. That's right. Keep your eyes on the sky, everybody. We're not alone. Blake Hudson's here, taking your calls from around the world. The number to call in, share your UFO sightings right now, live, 347-934-0378. We're taking your calls in regards to anything alien-related, UFOs. Have you been abducted? Do you have an opinion about what you saw on Third Phase Moon? We put up some incredible, incredibly insane videos just in the past couple days. The one that impressed me the most was this underwater Google imagery that came off right off Google Earth. No joke, people. Don't know what it is? I suggest everybody take a look at the breaking news video we put up on Third Phase of Moon. Mega ancient alien metropolis discovered. We're not exactly sure what it is, but we think the world needs to know what's going down just off Iceland. You know, this is another underwater base discovered, in my opinion. Malibu has its famous one off the Malibu coast, and now Third Phase of Moon shares again new footage right off Iceland. I think his name was Mr. Leaks that put this video, Jasper Leak. We got to thank Jasper for doing his research over there. That's what it's all about. Everybody out there, 250,000 subscribers approaching, 140 million views, Third Phase of Moon. It's a powerhouse of information that comes in every day. It's you guys out there that make Third Phase of Moon happen, sharing your story, sharing your videos to the world via right here. Thanks, everybody. We do it for you. Don't forget that. You that believe that we're not alone in the universe. Thank you again, people, for support right here at Third Phase of Moon and sharing your videos. Now, let's get to some callers. I think we got the Truth online. We're going to be getting to the Truth. He's a returning caller. I think he's got some new information. And we got Dr. J. Andy Elias just back from Contact in the Desert, Joshua Tree. We put up a little interview he did with Linda Moulton Howell over there. He's going to give us some insight of what he thinks is going off Iceland. I just shared him this incredible video that we posted, and he's going to introduce us to the Truth. Let's get to Dr. J right now. Dr. J, you there?
You know, I got to say, that Iceland video is so fantastic because that is so much more proof again that is just available to the public that cannot be denied. What are those darn artificial structures there? Is it man-made? But if it is man-made, is that a military base that we don't know about? Or is it extraterrestrials? I think that is super fantastic. And yes, you mentioned Contact in the Desert. That just did happen. And, of course, Linda Moulton Howe and so many other people were there.
Wow, you know, that was amazing, that Contact in the Desert, all what goes down, everybody goes out there and sees what's going down, talk to the top ufologists in the world, but I wanted to get your opinion on this new breaking news thing that just happened over there in Iceland. Does it look like the Nazca lines to me? Like it almost looks like that hummingbird. They call it the hummingbird emblem off the Nazca lines. Or am I seeing things? What do you think?
No. It's actually really funny that you said that because when just the first initial look at it, I was like, wow, this looks like blue under Nazca lines until I realized it was underwater. I'm talking about first glance, not reading it, and that was really, really, really cool because not only do you see obviously various shapes and obviously things that it just doesn't look like nature can create in such a perfect way. And then what also looks similar is that triangular area in Nazca, and also, of course, what they just called the straight Nazca lines, which some speculate was runways, others say it resembles runways. There's the debate among that. But absolutely, Blake, you're dead on with what it looks like, and so much more.
You know, I don't think this is a simple pareidolia effect going on by any means. This is something that seems so artificial, nothing natural about it. This seems like there's crossroads going on. Some people say that, hey, well, these are just scrapes of icebergs leaving their trails behind. But do icebergs square in 100% square?
No.
Do they take 90-degree angles and create roads and patterns that look like imagery known to man for thousands of years via the Nazca? You know, that's why we leave it up to the Third Phase of Moon viewers to decide, right, John?
Hey, I'm so glad you mentioned that, but at the same time, see, it can't. Okay, yes, you could look at it, and a skeptic will obviously say, yes, this looks like it's dragged from ice, but yes, only an area of it looks like that. What about when you get to other areas where it's turning and getting bigger, and it's just so symmetrical that you just can't? It has to be made. It has to have been made. Nature does not create this. If you want to see some things what nature creates, look at mountains. Look at the Grand Canyon, and any other canyon for that matter. I mean, they're all ragged and jagged, and nothing is really straight. Yes, you see straight sedimentary lines, but this is not what you see at the bottom of this ocean near Iceland. I mean, this is, again, something that had to have been created by some artificial means, whether it be humans or something else.
You know, I think that absolutely you nailed it right on the head as well, Dr. J, is that this is just so out of the ordinary, and the shape and formations are so unnatural. Even so, it's just not one area. You remember the Malibu off the Malibu coast? It was just that one base in that general area, maybe about 2 or 3 mile area of this coverage. But this is covering at least 20 to 30 miles in a general area of multiple different formations. Some people say this could be the missing Atlantis. That's what we're saying, that Atlantis is discovered possibly right now. And then other people just say, like Flip It For You, he says it could be Google. It could be Google messing with us. He's saying, really, though, just think if you worked in that department and you could throw stuff up for fun, I don't think Google's playing jokes like that.
I was just
going to
say that. Thank you for saying that, because, okay, if they're going to play a prank, you're going to see something in the peace sign or you know, in some sort of symbol that's obviously known to humans that people look at it and be like, ha, ha, that's cool, I recognize it. Not something that you're going to speculate is, you know, ET. I don't think anyone would think that. I mean, honestly, if you wanted to play a prank, wouldn't you want to make it to where people see it and laugh, not look at it and be like, whoa, what is that? You know, it doesn't really make that sort of sense. I mean, I guess people hoax UFO videos for the same reason, so you could potentially say that, but then you're talking about Google. I mean, it's a huge multi-billion-dollar corporation, teams of lawyers working there. Absolutely precise. They send cars around the nation with cameras to map everything out. There's no way something like this would go overlooked by that department without punishing the person and correcting it right away. And unless you see that correction made in the next 72 hours max, after you're talking about this on the show and it's up on Third Phase of the Moon with thousands, tens of thousands of views, there's no way in hell that it's going to be some sort of trick by anyone at Google, because obviously it would change.
You know, absolutely right, and I suggest everybody take a look at this video and do your own research. That's how we had to confirm that this is the real deal. When I first saw this video, I was thinking, well, maybe this could be some kind of elaborate hoax in a sense. So we did our homework, and I wanted to make sure Google Maps is, projecting the same thing that I was seeing from this video, and bingo, and there it was. You know, some people, we're getting a comment, Haley Gattardo says that these lines are basically, let me see what he says. He says, those lines are caused by sonar mapping from ships. They're more clear because of sonar, and the other areas are blurry. They're not formations, but they are digital.
Well, you know what? I love that's the whole purpose of putting everything out there for the public to decide, because you're going to hear both sides, people that take strong positions, then people that analyze it scientifically and technically, and this is what needs to be done, and this is exactly why. It's just like Bob Lazar. It is such crap that military or ET technology is stuck in military hands, because it should be investigated by the world. And you know what? If that's reason and he could provide proof, you know what? I will happily concede. And this is, just by looking at it, my interpretation is it has to be artificial. But if you have facts to back it up, and obviously it sounds like he's making a great argument, I'd love to see the rest of it. Again, like I said, I will concede to it. But this is why Third Phase of the Moon is doing what its job is in putting it for the public to decide.
John, it's absolutely, that's what it's all about here. And we want to thank Haley. She's a girl from Illinois, and she's 22. And hey, Haley, we always like people's opinions, and that's we might find out later that's not what it is. But we're not around here at Third Phase of the Moon to go into in-depth investigations on every single UFO video and information that comes in. It's just too massive. We have to get it out with everybody watching it. I think that's how the truth is told immediately, and it can't be suppressed when it's out on Third Phase. It gets out too fast. Speaking of suppression, is our movie. We made this movie, Hangar 52, We're Not Alone, and it's based on a lot of information that was coming into Third Phase of the Moon. We had a lot of fun making the movie. That's what it's all about. It's not perfect. Hey, it's not my acting. I'm not trying to win an Academy Award over here, people. I'm not an actor. I'm just Blake Cousins right here at Third Phase of the Moon taking reports, but it was a lot of fun to, be on the camera as an actor. And it's a shoestring budget, but we're putting out our last episode here in the next day, Hangar 52, the finale. And I wanted to get Dr. J's opinion of Hangar 52 and what went into it. I know you helped on some of the information that was coming in and actually transporting the EB, the alien, from Los Angeles to get it here on Hawaii on location while we shot this thing.
That's absolutely right. Not just transporting him, but actually facilitating the arrival of him by finding him and getting in touch with the guys who made it, which are amazing guys. Some resin company, I forget the name of it. But yes, EBE is great, and I hope everybody out there enjoys the final episode, because this is when a lot of people, from what I recall, became very emotional to see. I don't want to spoil what happens, but people get emotional at this last part. And considering you were keeping on top of Third Phase of the Moon and running that whole production on your own budget with no super high amount of money and just literally making it for fun, I think it's pretty cool for just a project to not just make for yourself, but something that people can be out and enjoy. And you know what? You actually, by making that, can inspire other small filmmakers to go out and do the same. And you could throw the word out for people out there. If they want to come out for your next movie, they'll fly out to Hawaii and be in it.
Or if they want to share and make a movie in regards to the UFO phenomenon based on facts, and if it's entertaining, hey, we'll premiere it right here in Third Phase of the Moon and share your movie to the world if, we think it's right for the people in Third Phase of the Moon. We're always out here for contact and open for, documentaries and movies right here at Third Phase of the Moon. And also, I wanted to say, you're going to be the assistant, the direct assistant producer to Art Bell. And I wanted Art Bell's opinion, or maybe you could share that video off Iceland and see what he thinks when he returns on air. When is that again, John?
July 20th, and you know what? Everything's looking so good. His studio is built. He's so happy and excited. I speak to him almost on a daily basis to talk about things. I'm already weeks into his booking. Everyone's going to have an amazing time with his show and guests. He's doing open lines just like this so people have a chance. And you know what? The funny part is it'll be literally probably on nights like this when this show ends, so they could literally finish this and call into Art Bell as an open line and talk about their continuation of the stories. So that's going on. Art Bell's back, and people can hear him at the next Zero event, which is going to be held in Los Angeles. You can go to CeroInternational.com, CERO. I'm actually going to be speaking there as well. Art Bell's going to be making an appearance via Skype. There will also be L.A. Marzulli and Rick Shaw talking about the latest Watchers film, showing slides and photographs they took of mummies they were able to examine in Peru that had strange, giant skulls that just did not belong. So that's going to be an exciting event. And, of course, like I said, Art Bell's back July 20th, and everyone's ready to go. It's on darkmatterradionetwork.net. Or Dark Matter. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I heard a sneak peek of Art Bell. It sounds great, and the studio sounds great. I look forward to hearing that and go directly to it right after Third Phase of the Moon Radio every Friday night. And that's going to be amazing. Now, hey, thanks, Dr. J. I know you're real busy. You got to go, but please introduce us to our next guest. He goes by the
Yes, exactly. And before I go, I'd like to just mention people who are able to see hear some shows. But first, let me introduce our guest. He's been bringing some footage to Third Phase of the Moon. and he's gotten a whole lot more, and I know he's got some stories to tell, and he's a real cool cat. He's got a head on his shoulders. You know, he grew up in some hard times in the hood, and he could even talk about some UFO sightings happening in the hood, and he goes by the UFO Truth. You know, I believe Maryland.
Maryland?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. Let's bring him on. I mean, let's confirm from him.
All right, hey,
Baltimore, Maryland.
Well, hey,
Baltimore. That's right, Baltimore in the house.
How y'all doing?
All the way from Baltimore. Welcome to Third Phase. Go ahead, Truth. What do you some new information, new videos, some new UFO encounters? What's going on?
Yeah, Doc. It's a lot going on, Doc. You know, it's a lot going on. I've sent you a couple photographs of some footage that I've been taking, and I've never stopped taking footage since I called in and spoke with you guys last year about, you know, the experiences that I've actually been having personally. And they've actually been increasing, and my information has been increasing as well. And I have all of this, you know, pretty much on film, and I would love for you guys to check it out because it's over. It's over. I mean, it's no questions to be asked no more in reference to this, okay? If you guys take a look at what's really going on, take a look at the news, you see a lot of violence going down, you know, in Baltimore, Chicago, Jersey. I'm thinking that this is all in relation to what I'm getting on film. And what I'm getting on film appears to me to be nothing but the truth. They here, they on the ground, and that's just it. And I can prove this. And I'm now ready to submit my evidence to the scientists to have them take a look at it. And then they let me know, you know, if I'm wrong or if I'm right about what I'm saying, because this is my opinion. But my opinion is to be expressed to the people, because I want the people to see this so we can get the people's opinion. And then if the people pretty much figure that what I'm saying is true, then I think we pretty much got to go with what the people say and with what I'm saying, and it's time to take this to the next level.
Absolutely. What are you capturing? What do you want to submit to the scientists? How are we going to take a look at this, the truth? What's going on between?
Oh, my phone is in better condition now, so I can actually I can Gmail you guys the information before before we decide to let the scientists take a look at this. But I've showed this to a lot of my family, a lot of my friends. They all agree with me. They see exactly what I'm seeing, and it's a way that you have to go about finding it, though, because it's not just there. It's not like these beings are just. Some of them come out in the open, and some of them are hiding, and it's hard to see. But they there, and I guarantee you they there. And they've been there, I can guarantee you, for at least the last 3 years. I just wasn't able to get my information out to you guys. I want to apologize, first and foremost, for missing contact in the desert. It's one of you guys' biggest permits, mayors, and I'm sorry for missing that. I wasn't able to get my round-trip tickets until around 12 o'clock Monday afternoon. So, you know, I want to apologize for that. But I do still have my tickets. I do still have the information right here in my hand. So I have a few videos, but I have lots and lots of photographs. Nighttime, daytime. I mean, I have UFOs that's hovering 10 feet off the ground, you know, in broad daylight. So, you know, go ahead, son.
I want to stop you real quick, and we'll get back to it, but we're getting some comments on your evidence that you're about to share, and we look forward to hopefully sharing it to the world. But some people are warning you, don't share it to anybody but Third Phase Moon, because there's people out there that'll just rip your stuff off and not give you credit. That's what we do at Third Phase Moon. We give you credit so everybody knows that when something's posted, for the most part, they're going to know where directly it came from, if that's what the people submit their videos choose. And then also, don't give it to MUFON, man. MUFON is infiltrated. I don't think they're doing their job. And they don't get back to anybody trying to let the people decide. Dr. J, any questions for the truther?
Actually, I'm so glad you brought that up. Before I go, let me talk about the show. But I'm so glad you mentioned MUFON. First of all, ever since Bigelow gave money to them, people say it was corrupt. And I actually have investigators, friends that have been doing this or members, MUFON investigators for 25 years that finally said, you know what, this organization is getting corrupt. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm good friends with the national director, and he's a legitimate guy, but things ever since Robert Bigelow invested in MUFON to take a look at all their files, things sort of went down. And the reason why I'm mentioning this background is because the truth actually brought the evidence to MUFON, and he'll tell you the response. And I'm glad you mentioned that he needs to get it to you because you'll be able to disseminate the information quicker than anybody else for the world to decide. Go ahead, the truth. Tell the world what happened when you brought your stuff and told your story to MUFON. What did they do to you?
Okay, well, I'm not going to mention any names because I follow the code. That's first and foremost. I am from West Baltimore, so the code come first. But what happened was once I was finally able to get in contact with the head of MUFON here in Baltimore, he hesitated on me coming out to show him my evidence. I don't quite understand why, but he did hesitate on doing that. Now, the first gentleman that I got in contact with was in Berlin, Maryland. Okay? Now, I sent him one photograph of what I had, and he called me back, and he was like, well, what is this? And I was like, well, that's one of the photographs that I took in my neighborhood. You can see right there that the alien being is right there, like 10 feet away from me. You can see it as clear as day. It's in broad daylight. So he was like, well, how far away, were you when you took this photograph? I said, I was maybe about 10 or 15 feet away from it. And he hung up, and I was never able to get back in contact with him again. Now, when I was able to get in contact with the head of MUFON in Baltimore, Maryland, and one of the counties, I'm not going to mention exactly what county, but in one of the counties here, we finally, were able to link up. And I showed them just one of my photographs. And it was one of my very best ones, one of the first ones that I took back in 2012 when I had the tremendous encounter. Oh, my God. But anyway, I showed him the photograph, and he took a look at it, and he said it was interesting. And he said that he would send someone out. Now, if you guys remember, the last time I spoke with you guys was about a year ago. It was about the abductions in Maryland and Texas. It was a very good show. I think we're up to about 80,000 views so far. Guys, keep checking that out. That's all real. Check it out. But anyway, I explained to you guys that the head of MUFON sent an investigator to my home. Okay, and I told you I felt bad about this once I realized who he was when he got in my house. But so the gentleman finally called me back, who he hooked me up with, said that he would be out in about 4 or 5 hours. So I waited. The first day he didn't show up. So the second day, I called the head guy from MUFON back and let him know that the gentleman hadn't showed up yet. So he said, okay, he would get right on it. Emailed him or whatever, and finally the guy did show up the next day. So anyway, when he showed up, I let him in and everything like that. And once he got in my house, he let me know that he was with the Pentagon. Now, I was under the impression that the Pentagon and MUFON was on two opposite sides of the street. Like to give you guys perspective, you may be able to relate to, like two different, fashions of groups. They on this side and we on that side. MUFON is supposed to be trying to prove that this is real and what they have may be legitimate, and most of the time the government is trying to prove that it's not. So it's kind of like it's contradictory. So that's hard to kind of go with. Anything that's contradictory is hard to take seriously. So anyway, when I realized that where he was from, like I said, it shook me up a little bit because I brought him into my home. My wife, my kids, they all lay in my home, and I know how they are about this type of information. So he seemed like a pretty cool guy. I sat down with him. I let him know when my experiences started, how old I was, and things like that. And then I told him to make sure that I stay anonymous as well. So we proceeded to go outside where I had the experience around 5:30 p.m. on May the 19th, 2012, in broad daylight, when I actually viewed 3 UFOs within about an hour time. And I showed him everything, from the time when the UFO came out the back part of the woods, came right down to where I was at. The problem was I didn't have my cell phone on me when I first saw it. But the unbelievable part was I was able to run in the house, grab my cell phone off the charger, which had only been on the charger for about 10 or 15 minutes. And when I ran back out, the UFO was still there. So whatever reason it was, it came down to me. It wanted me to get it on film. And I'm saying that because it seems like to me, as much as the powers that be try, there's no way that they can keep this from the public. They are going directly to the people now, but they're not going to everyone. They're going to the people with open minds, people with common sense. If you're seeing these things in the air, if you're seeing them landed on the ground, if you're seeing them in the sea, if you're seeing them in space, come on, what's the commonality factor? They're being seen in all these areas is the commonality factor. That's the genius factor of it. That can't be denied. Too many reports, too much denial. Okay? And what I have now can no longer be denied. So, powers to be, get ready. Okay? We got it.
We got it. And the truth, contact Third Phase of the Moon, share it right now. We're standing by, and we're looking forward to looking at what you got. Contact us, cousinsbrothersproductions@gmail.com. That's cousinsbrothersproductions@gmail.com. That's our email address. The truth, thank you for calling in. We appreciate it. And if anybody, do you have a YouTube channel, The Truth? Do you have a YouTube channel that anybody could follow you at?
I'm actually in the process of getting that set up now. It should be set up within the next day or two.
Okay, The Truth, you let me know when that is. We'll put that in the link when you share us this video footage. We're about to cut out. Show's just about ending. Dr. J, any last words? Go ahead.
Actually, yes, just a few. I want to make it very clear that people can hear top guests on my show, and they could speak to them, and some of those interviews end up on Third Phase, but that's not the way disclosure is going to happen. Yes, people get to hear about important cases and everything, but it's all about everybody out there, such as The Truth, people that are calling into Third Phase of the Moon, people that are sending their videos in, people that are just talking about it and having an open mind. That's how disclosure is going to happen. Everybody out there listening, disclosure is in your hands. It's about you guys. It's not about the top researchers that are a small portion. It's about the majority of the world having an open mind, sharing this information, talking about it, and not suppressing it anymore. Speaking of the top guests, yes, absolutely, people can hear amazing shows. Go to drjradiolive.com. Just some of the next couple guests are David Sarita, and people can actually have a chance to speak to him. And astronaut Story Musgrave will talk about some few things and so much more. Everything is under drjradiolive.com, and that's the name of every social media account as well, from YouTube, Flickr, Facebook, Instagram, Tumblr. But again, disclosure is in your hands, everybody. Keep sending your information to Third Phase of the Moon and tell your stories. That's how we're going to make it happen.
Thank you, Dr. J. Appreciate all you do, and we look forward to all your big interviews. You got the biggest ones in the house, and we're looking forward to Art Bell being back. Dr. J, you take care, man. You too. And The Truth and everybody else, keep disclosure. Keep it open and keep watching Third Phase of the Moon. Absolutely. But you couldn't say it better. Keep watching. Have your cameras ready. You never know when this is going down. UFOs is something for everybody. Close encounters. It's ready in your hands. It's going to happen. All you got to do is have an open mind. Sometimes people think that, hey, I've never seen a UFO. I've been waiting all my life to see a UFO. It's never too late. It happens to everybody once in their lifetime, I'd imagine. Blake Cousins, keep your eyes on the skies. Hangar 52, the latest and last episode. We're Not Alone. It's coming soon to Third Phase of the Moon. Blake Cousins. We'll see everybody again next week, Friday. 12 a.m. if you're in New York, 9 p.m. if you're in L.A. Every Friday, we're here taking your calls from around the world. Blake Cousins. We'll see you again next time.
Third Phase.